Do another little video here. There may be some new Legend owners out there. Maybe their first multi-frequency detector. Now, this is not a Legend detector, but you folks with Legend detectors can do you some testing. And you can read the manual. You know, the manual, I've read the manual on that detector. Some of the talk, you know, is sort of generic, and it doesn't really go into specifics, okay? So anyway, I've got the small coil on this detector, not for any special reason other than it's what's on it, okay? Now that Legend has single frequency ops just like this detector does, plus multi-frequency. So anyway, I've got a nail here. Now this is same plane testing. Now let's be honest with ourselves here. This nail being on the same plane, as that nail is raised above that non-ferrous nickel, the performance is not going to get any better. It's going to go downhill with any detector, okay? Odds are, high odds. So anyway, you see where that nickel is there at the end of that nail, and you're out here in the wild and you're sweeping around. Now let's say that nickel there's a gold ring, okay, laying at an old house site or in a park. Now, you use one of these machines that's got single frequency ops, and you can make a choice, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 40, or use multi-frequency. And some people come into one of those machines, maybe they're leery about the multi-frequency, or they don't understand it, okay? Well, I'm going to give you a little demonstration here. Maybe it'll help you, okay? I'm in 20 kilohertz. Hear that nickel? That's the nickel that machine is going off on, okay? So I can hear that nickel. I can come from over here and hear that nickel. So if that was a gold ring, I could hear it, right? And watch this. I'm going to go straight over here to 5 kilohertz. Now watch what happens here. Now the settings on this machine are the same. All right? Look at there. You don't hear that nickel, do you? So if that was a gold ring, it would be invisible to me. Okay? Look at there. Even sweeping way out over here on that nickel, trying to ease in there with that coil. El Zippo, okay? So when you choose a single frequency to use on one of these machines, if you choose like a lower frequency versus a higher frequency and vice versa, what you're doing is you're setting yourself up where the detector can only solve part of the equations it's capable of versus using multi-frequency. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to multi-frequency part 1 on this machine. And I would almost bet that the part 1 on this machine works a lot like the part does on the Legend. Now watch what happens here. Now look at there. Look at there. See there? I've got that old nickel in now. I can hear it. Now, the ID's not right on that nickel, okay? But I can hear it. I know it's there. I just don't know what's there. But I know there's a non-ferrous target there, okay? Now, I can go to part 2 on this machine. Same thing. Okay? So now this is a supposed low conductor, like a gold ring nickel around a nail. And I did a video earlier where we had a higher conductor around 4, and where lower frequencies using single frequency ops would do a better job. So what I'm saying is when you're using multi-frequency on one of these machines, the detector can solve more equations for modern trash and iron, okay? Now, that doesn't mean a single frequency ops on a detector on any given situation might do better. The only problem with that is when you're out sweeping around on buried things, you don't know what the situation entails, okay? You don't know what you're coming up against. You're detecting in the blind, okay? And the detector has to basically pull the blindfold off the ground for you. And as people get more and more used to their detectors, experimenting with them, maybe doing some actual target comparison in the wild, looking at single frequency, you'll see there'll be a pattern will start developing, okay? Yes, you'll see some instances where single frequency will give even maybe a better signal. But not all single frequencies. Some single frequency ops may not even give a signal at all, just like the 5 kilohertz does on this nickel by this sizable nail here, okay? You see there? Let's get down real close to that. Look at there. I'm down there close to that old nail. El Zippo. Okay, so just another little video here. I'm going to be watching for these legend users to see what they do with this machine. You know, it's good to see another company make a SMF detector. I hope you enjoyed.